Me too, miss.
Only if it's about stranger danger and not getting into cars.
Oh, you can ask it anyway, I don't mind.
Can we have a look at your gun? Have you ever shot anyone, miss?
Well, my gun isn't all that interesting, and no, I haven't shot anybody.
If your gun shot someone, would it make a big hole? It makes a big hole when it comes out. Even I know that.
Now, that's not why the constable is here. Now, if there aren't any more questions, you can run along and have your lunch.
I've got a sensible question, miss.
Make sure it is then.
Can you use an AK-47? Mr. Shields can. Can't you, Mr. Shields?
Guns aren't clever, children. Guns are bad.
Now, that's it. No more questions. Off you go. Quick, all of you. Quick, 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 quick. It's the cartoons and movies. We can't compete.
Like their redneck families.
Oh, this is my husband, Brian. This Constable Maggie...
Doyle. Maggie Doyle.
Maggie? Same thing happened last year. Duck hunting season. 6-year-old kids start talking like infantry regulars.
It quite shocked us, but this year we're a little more used to it.
What was that about an AK-47?
Oh, Brian was in Vietnam.
All right.
When you're on the receiving end of it, it takes on a whole new meaning.
Oh, I find that in my job as well.
Their fathers and brothers only need 5 minutes under fire, along with all those weekend thrill seekers from the city.
Brian's not a fan of the duck hunting fraternity.
So for my money, they should all be locked up and the key thrown away.
I wouldn't go that far.
The police shouldn't have guns. Would you go that far?
Well, no, I wouldn't.
Look, we've got some shopping to do for the weekend, but it was very nice meeting you, Maggie. I'm sure we'll see you again.
No doubt. Thank you.
I'm not really an ogre.
Of course you're not.
Just bitter and twisted. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Where are you camping?
Oh, about 2 k's upstream from the bridge.
Yeah, good shooting there?
Yeah, it was last year. You be getting into it?
Possible.
Yeah, ducks won't know it either, mate.
Here you go, Mr. Purvis.
Mel. Name's Mel.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of paperwork. Paperwork's right. There's no way you can get pinched, eh?
Yeah. You want to try us?
See you later, fellas.
Hey.
Mind getting that on the nest, eh?
Was there something there, boys?
No, not a thing, officer.
You run into any dangerous strangers?
Yeah, out the front. They look like mates of
If you
yours.
can't handle them, give me a call.
Brian Shields?
What about him?
I'm just curious.
Oh, he's a bit of a radical, but he's a good teacher, so people put up with it.
On his hobby horse, was he? Guns and shooters.
Yeah, he was a bit.
Bet you're in there, Maggie, backing him up.
Well, I won't knock someone for supporting their principles. How about you, boss?
No, I couldn't agree more.
Matt Thomas, please. What up? There's been a prank by the school.
Well, off you go. And Maggie.
Good one, mate. Look, you had heaps of room. Why don't you just admit it?
You're in the wrong. Why don't you just admit it?
Brian!
No! Great, here come the cops. Could have sorted us out if you weren't such a gutless wonder.
Gutless.
Yeah, right, gutless. We could have sorted out properly.
I'll show you who gutless is! Come on, Mr. Big Mouth! Let's see how tough you really are! Come on!
Calm down. Now, what's the story?
Why don't you ask him? He's the one good off his brain.
Bloody shooters! This isn't a toy! It should be broken!
It's loaded!
You stupid bastards! Having a loaded weapon in the car!
Yeah, well, we took a couple of shots on the way up in the car. Didn't hit nothing.
Then you won't mind showing us in the back of your vehicle, then, will you, sir?
Right. You'll be charged with shooting a protected species.
How was I supposed to know those protected?
Paperwork, Mel. Remember? Speckled ducks, they're in there.
Look, I'll cop it, sweet fellas. Fair enough. It's down to me, OK?
Then there's the charge of dangerous driving.
Oh, come on.
No,
Fair.
you did rear-end the other vehicle, sir.
Yeah, what about the lunatic? What's happening to him? Look, I didn't open fire on innocent people. I'm not the maniac.
Discharging a firearm in a populous area with reckless indifference.
I wasn't the one showing reckless indifference.
Weren't you?
All right, it was stupid.
Yes, it was.
I agree, I'm sorry.
Brian, you know about firearms. Anything could have happened. Ricochets, panic, police return fire, anything.
I agree. I let him get to me and I shouldn't have. I suppose the accident...
What's the department going to think? This could affect your job.
Possibly.
No more warnings, Brian. Another incident like this and I'll lock you up, I swear to God I will. And you won't get bail until after the charge is heard, even if it takes months. Understand?
I understand.
If your blood starts to boil, sit down and write a letter to the Gazette.
Always good for a laugh, eh?
Just to be on the safe side, stay at home this weekend. If I bail you, will you do that for me?
Fair enough.
See that he does, Mrs. Shields, will you?
I will.
You bloody wacko.
And you're a moron.
That's enough. Organise Mr. Shields' bail undertaking.
Letting him walk. Should be in the slammer.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Purvis. I'm a shooter. And you're the type that gives us all a bad name. So stay out of trouble this weekend, are you with me? Otherwise you'll find you're the one in the lockup.
Yeah, fair enough, Sergeant. No offence.
Nice bit of work, I hear, Nick. Quick thinking, mate.
Oh, mate, Maggie did all the hard work. I've just been home to change my underwear.
Shields must have fallen out of his tree.
He seems quite rational to me. And the boss said he's a caring professional.
He's a wanker, Maggie. He thinks guns are a menace to society. Guns don't kill, people do.
He has got a right to an opinion.
Why give him rights, eh? They only abuse him.
Because if we didn't, you'd string up half the population, PJ.
You'll learn. Listen, Nick, now that you're a hero, mate, you're going to be offered lots of beers and 1 or 2 warm, soft bodies, so don't forget who your mates are, eh?
Oh, you can't be that desperate, PJ.
So phone numbers only. You need to vet the applications.
Afternoon, everyone. Hi, Roz. Hi.
Can I show you something sensational?
What's going on?
I've just bought a new car.
What?
Well, it's a new one. It's an old one, but it's terrific.
You said you were just looking.
Yeah, well, they're my savings. I'm entitled to spend them how I like.
How much?
Look, it's in really good nick. I had the full deposit. I'll pay the rest off in the business. Come on, don't be so negative. Let's see. Come on. Ta-da! It's totally and absolutely perfect. See? It's got room to fit in all my bits and pieces. My beauty business is now officially mobile.
And under the bonnet, it might be a heap of garbage.
No, it's not. I made sure of that.
How did you make sure of that? What do you know about engines?
Nothing. Told them my husband's a cop.
Well, I hear you made a bit of a name for yourself today.
No, not really.
No need to be shy. The whole town's talking about it.
So what's it going to be, Chrissy? Drinks on the house?
Oh, Moffat, I wasn't that impressed.
Don't you think things got totally out of hand far too quickly there today?
Stand aside. Maggie's on the case. What do you got, Sherlock?
Oh, it's more a gut feeling, I suppose. Brian Shields' response was out of all proportion.
Well, if you got your suspicions, start checking.
Oh, wouldn't want to tread on your toes, PJ.
Well, there's nothing territorial here, Mag.
Oh, yeah?
Why, what should there be? Some mad school teacher goes over the top with some 2-bit hooms. End of story.
I'll keep you informed, as a courtesy. You know what courtesy is.
Sure I do. Something you try with a girl when you're out on a date and in with a chance.
Oh. Come on, PJ, relax. We're just having a beer.
Hey, I'm relaxed. I promise. I'm limp. Sorry, Maggie. Some other time.
In your dreams, PJ.
I've just got to check these price lists.
What price lists?
My business. What else?
Take long?
No, hardly any time at all.
Good. Oh, talking about your business.
Wayne, I'm keeping the car.
No, that's okay. That's cool. But who's going to clean up the lockup? Feed the customers?
I'm Superwoman. I'll do it all, I promise.
You sure you can manage?
It's only overnighters.
I'm not sure I can.
What?
Manage?
Manage what?
Manage to keep my hands off you any longer? Six more summonses. Hey, mate, is your name such and such? This is for you.
Let's go, Jimmy Perkins.
No trouble at all. He took her like a lamb.
Couldn't happen to a nicer dickhead.
What about the mad school teacher? Any early breakthroughs?
Not yet.
Keep at it. Hate to miss any developments, Mag.
What's that all about?
Don't ask.
Got a minute?
What's doing, boss?
What time is it?
Sorry? 9:25, boss.
And the waste bins?
I'm not with you.
They haven't been emptied, Constable. The station hasn't been cleaned. Now, is there a good reason for that?
Oh, gee, boss, I'm sure there would be. Maybe Ros...
The station has not been cleaned. Now, I want it done, and I want it done properly in the future. It's your responsibility, understood?
Yes, boss.
Excuse me, everyone. I won't get in your way.
I'll leave you to attend to it.
This should have been done hours ago.
Oh, well, one of my regulars phoned up in a panic.
Yeah?
A job interview came up. I couldn't let her down.
I just caught a rocket from the boss.
Now, Thomas,
He's
please.
real dirty about this, love.
Can't he just wait for 5 minutes for once? He's not the only person in the entire universe.
Is he dead? Tom, mate. Boss, we got a problem. Brian Shields has been found dead.
Keep your eyes open. Don't trample any evidence. Anything in particular you want us to look for?
Nope. Just anything.
All right, we'll keep you posted.
Hey, Jay. There's no sign of a weapon in the immediate area.
We'll make a detailed search later.
Could be I was right then.
This job has become territorial, Mag. Now, there'll be a D coming up from Melbourne, but I'll be running it from this end. So you'll be working to me, okay? That's the kid that found the body. Take his statement. I want everything he's got. Brian Shields, all right. Head injury's been bashed. Foul play, no question.
Does his wife know?
I thought I'd said Maggie.
Yeah, good idea.
We'll need a search.
I've organised some uniforms from St David's.
What about scientific and homicide? Who we got?
Homicide's a bloke called Rob Cole.
Oh, yeah, worked with him before. He's all right.
Knows the value of local knowledge.
Yeah, got it in one.
I'm glad somebody's getting something out of this.
You couldn't have known, boss.
No. But if I'd have locked him up, he'd still be alive, wouldn't he?
Take a seat, Liz.
Thank you.
Are you sure you're okay?
Oh, it's got to be done, hasn't it?
Mrs. Shields, I'm Detective Senior Constable Hashem. Thanks for your cooperation. Can I get you anything? Coffee, tea?
No, I just want to get this over.
Well, there's just one or two things. You tell us the last time you saw your husband.
He went out this morning, before dawn.
What for?
He knew roughly what time the ducks flew in to feed, and he wanted to scare them away from the hunters.
And which hunters? The ones from yesterday?
Any hunters at all. I tried to talk him out of it, but he'd made up his mind.
Take your time.
He left at 4:30 to walk along the river. He said he'd be 3 hours. When he wasn't back by 11, I started phoning the neighbours. No one had seen him. I was about to go looking when Maggie knocked.
Give us a minute, PJ.
There's not much more.
Can I see you for a moment, please, Sergeant?
If you must.
I'm sorry about before, but I do have an idea.
Now, look, I just want to know if I'm being charged or not.
Right now, you're helping us with certain inquiries.
What inquiries?
Well, you'll find out in due course, won't you?
If you two gentlemen could come through here, let Detective Constable Hashem know.
How the hell can I help you with your inquiries when I don't know what you're inquiring about? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
All in good time.
If I'm being locked up, I just want to see a lawyer.
Through here. Sit down, please.
What gives? I want to know.
Sit.
We searched the camp. No bloodstones, no obvious murder weapon. But a dart gun turned up.
Ah. We want details of your activities this morning. That's why you're here. And you will be charged with being in possession of a prescribed weapon. Detective Constable Hasham will take separate statements from you and your mates.
Talking about bad karma. Must have run over a Chinaman's dog or something.
When I turn the tape recorder on, there'll be a few questions. Just give it to me straight, okay?
Liz, was there something about those people yesterday? I mean, did Brian know any of them before?
Well, they weren't his kind of people. Why?
Firing a gun in the street after a minor car accident.
Brian was used to handling guns. It was perfectly safe. Mom! He just wanted to scare them, that's all. How were they, Tina?
They've been as good as gold, Mrs. Shields.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Tina.
Mum,
Yes, love?
where's Daddy?
I'll tell you later. Big hug, quick.
So, no sign of a struggle, and wallet's still on the body.
What's the score with these duck shooters?
Definitely hiding something. Tapes are here.
Could he have known them?
No, they reckon not. I'm not ruling them out.
What about the wife? Domestic's always on the cards. Is there any boyfriend?
Small town, reckon we would have heard. I'm not ruling her out either.
Oh, how did she seem?
Pretty plausible.
They always seem pretty plausible.
Thanks, Nick. Forensics on the way through. Who've we got?
The Crow.
Jean Crowhurst. I hear she's okay.
Oh, you know, forensic. Up there on cloud 9, handing it down on stone tablets. For a nitrate head, she's not bad. Jean?
Detective Sergeant.
This is Detective Senior Constable Hasham, resident local genius in charge of stuffing up the crime scene.
Oh, the one who picked it as a bashing murder.
The very same.
The government medical officer did a preliminary X-ray, pending the autopsy in the morning. Apparently the victim was shot.
What?
Oh, don't pack the job in yet, Constable. It's very hard to pick. The GMO happens to have seen two similar cases. The entry wound was covered up by the swelling and the bruising.
No, I checked for other injuries. There was no exit wound.
That's right. The projectile's still inside.
What about powder burn? Surely.
Same story, concealed by the swelling.
So, at 22.
Probably, but don't quote me.
We need that autopsy.
First thing tomorrow.
Any other ideas?
I don't know. Chat with the school principal, I guess.
Let's do it.
Mum said she'd stay with Liz and the kids tonight. I'll wait till she gets here.
Thanks a lot, Tina. Liz. Doctor's wife said he'll come out later with a sedative.
Oh, you've been very kind, Maggie.
It's nothing. Why don't you have a lie down?
I'll be all right. Tina's a real treasure, aren't you? She's like you, Maggie. A good person.
I'm happy to help.
Good people always are. Brian was the same. He needed to feel there could still be some good in the world. He lived in a kind of despair. That's why we put off having kids for so long. I'm sorry, I'm holding you up.
I actually should be getting back. Shields residence. Hang on, will you? Liz, it's a reporter. I'll tell him you're under sedation.
No, I'll talk to them.
What are you going to say?
I know Brian was killed because he spoke out against guns. I'm not going to walk away from that. Hello. I know he died because of this blood sport, which is still causing pain and misery to defenseless creatures. We all miss him. So if anyone saw anything at all, that might help the police, could you please come forward?
Oh, I suppose it helps having a drum to
This is Jim Blake
Get off
reporting.
with that, Nick.
Thomas, 7. No.
So, what's happening? Did you get anything off the school principal?
Did I what? Late last year, he confiscated a homemade gun from one of the older kids. It was a cut-down .22 rifle, locked it away in a stockroom cupboard. Now, who has access to that? Two people. The principal and Brian Shields' wife.
What are you saying, PJ?
What I'm saying, Maggie, is for my money, Liz Shields is our man. I reckon she killed him.
What's going on?
Morning, Tom. Still having brekkie, are we? She just emptied that.
Where is she?
Brings Marsh, you know.
Not if it's emptied.
Oh, good morning. You're early. I believe you know Sheila O'Shaughnessy.
Been mates for years, haven't we, Tom? Mates and sparring partners. He gives me a hard time, but when he wants the local goss, guess whose story comes pounding on?
Sheila cleans a few places around town. I was just getting a quote.
Won't be necessary. Thanks, Sheila. It's Mrs. Patterson's job.
Line it up with her old man, am I right?
Absolutely correct.
You cactus, sweetheart. The boys have got it all worked out between them.
If you wouldn't mind, Sheila.
I meant to ask you, how's the big inquiry going? Found out who done it yet?
It'll all wind up in the Gazette.
Hands and knees, love, that's where they want to keep you. Time warp, this place. Bye for now.
Bye, and thank you.
That woman is the biggest gossip this side of the Western Plains.
Look, I tried to ask, but you were busy. Can we talk now?
There's nothing to talk about. You're the cleaner.
But I don't have time. Not to do it the way you want me to.
I'll take it up with Wayne.
I beg your pardon? Oh, I'm the one who's involved. I'd like you to talk to me, please.
PJ and Maggie will be back very shortly with a guest. You'll want to be finished before they arrive. And don't forget that bin. Don't want mice.
Early morning, catch them off guard. Works every time.
You would have been right at home with the KGB.
Nice little outfit in their day. Gone to the dogs a bit now, though. Oh, by the way, we're taking the kids in as well.
Why?
A little bit of pressure.
That is totally unfair pressure, PJ.
All the unfair pressure I can get.
Well, who's going to look after the children?
Didn't I mention that?
PJ, I did not join the police.
Mrs. Shields?
My information is that Mrs. Shields has been brought back in. Can you at least confirm that?
Sorry.
Well, is she going to be charged? Off the record, Sergeant. Just between ourselves, so I can let them know back in the city. Oh, come on, my boss is pushing me.
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
Thanks for your cooperation, Mrs. Shields. We know you want to get this all sorted out.
There have been some new matters raised, you see.
What new matters?
We'll get to that. First up, we want to go over the events of the last few days in some detail.
Oh, of course.
Where's Mum?
Mum's talking to some people for a little while. Now, what do you think we should do?
Have a look, Dan.
And that's everything I can remember. Would you like to tell me what this is all in aid of?
Would you like a break, Mrs. Shields? Cup of coffee?
I'd like to get this finished. You mentioned some new matters.
That's right.
I'd like to know what they are, please.
Of course.
Your husband wasn't bashed, as we thought at first. It appears he was shot.
With the homemade gun from the school. Do you know anything about that gun?
Yes. It was kept in the principal's stockroom cupboard. He confiscated it from a student.
And who has a key to that?
I have one, and the principal has another.
Anyone else?
Not officially, but teachers borrow them all the time. It would only take 2 minutes to have one cut. I couldn't say how many there were in existence.
He got on the motor. Faster!
Shh, keep it down. It's good.
Could we keep it down to a dull roar?
Oh, boss, you know, read the card. Here you go.
It's no use complaining to me.
It's not that. How's it going in PJ's office?
Well, I haven't looked in there yet. What?
I wasn't going to say anything, but Boss, I'm wondering if we're coming on a bit too strong.
PJ and Sergeant Cole know what they're doing, Constable.
Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Don't get emotionally involved. I know it's easy to say, but it's also the smart way to travel.
Could you do me one thing? At least keep me posted?
Well, it's better than having you listening outside doors, I suppose.
Thank you.
Hey, boss.
Hey?
Boss, you got to call line 3 autopsy.
Constable, could you keep them quiet, please? You tell Patterson I want to talk to him. What's going on?
I've just received a report from the autopsy, Mrs. Shields. It's now been confirmed that your husband was killed with a small caliber firearm at close range. It's also been confirmed the body has no cuts, bruises or abrasions, no skin or hair under the fingernails. Nothing to indicate a struggle. Does this suggest anything to you?
Should it?
It suggests Brian knew and trusted the person that shot him, wouldn't you say?
I don't know.
Can you think of any teacher with enough of a grudge against him to kill him?
No.
Can you think of anyone at all?
Those 3 duck shooters?
Anyone else?
No.
So the duck shooter's your only possibility?
That's right.
And they definitely didn't know your husband before yesterday.
That's right.
So they wouldn't have come here planning to kill him, would they?
It doesn't mean anything. Their car was loaded with guns. I saw it myself.
Things haven't been good at home, have they, Mrs. Shields? Between you and your husband.
They've been fine.
I believe you kept to yourselves.
Yes, pretty much. Why?
So you wouldn't have any witnesses to that.
And you don't have any witnesses to the contrary.
You wanted to see me, boss?
This morning, your wife led into this station the biggest busybody in town. I caught her going through the occurrence pads.
I'm sorry, boss. I had no idea.
Then you'd better sort it out, hadn't you? Mount Thomas Police.
Let me put a scenario to you, Mrs. Shields. It was early, 4:30, kids asleep. Brian left to scare the ducks. But he didn't go on his own, did he? You went with him. And you took the gun, you walked with him along the river, and you shot him.
No.
Why'd you do it, Mrs. Shields?
Tell us what happened, then we can sort it out.
You ran back home, and on your way, you threw the gun in the river. You're only gone half an hour. You got back into bed before the kids woke up. How does that sound, Mrs. Shields?
No.
Look, it's only a matter of time till we find the gun.
We'll have divers in there today. Take my word for it. We'll
And you
find
wouldn't go far in case the kids woke up. Isn't that true?
Look, you can make this easy on yourself or harder. It's your choice.
The kids are why you did it, isn't that right?
Why, Liz? What was the problem?
It wasn't.
Where's the
any
gun?
problem.
We'll find it. You might as well tell us.
You want us to ask the children? I'm sure they can tell us a thing or
You
two.
leave my children out of this.
They were the reason, weren't they?
They don't know anything.
You expect me to believe this garbage? Where did you put the gun, Mrs. Shields?
All right, I'll tell you.
Cancer?
The autopsy just finished. He was riddled with it.
How's it going?
Not good.
It was diagnosed again 2 weeks ago. He'd had it 3 years back, but he had chemotherapy and they said they'd got it in time. He knew it would come back. Agent Orange. The treatment affected him badly. He was in so much pain he could hardly move. His hair fell out. He said he would never have it again. He said he'd rather go quickly. Then at least the decision would be his. But he wanted it to mean something. He wanted to make people think about Vietnam, about what we did there, about the guns and the killing. Just make people think. And it has. Television's here. People are seeing what happens.
Take your time.
He said in the end the police would work it out. But the longer I could hold out, the better it would be. So I tried.
And what about the gun?
He took my key. I didn't even know. I saw the gun Friday night. I tried to talk him out of it, but he'd made up his mind.
And what was your part in it? What did you do?
I waited half an hour, and then I went after him. It was getting light. The body was lying there. I touched him just in case. He wasn't breathing. He was cold. I said, I love you. Then I picked up the gun, I ran along the river and I threw it in. I then went home and got into bed with my children.
You boys were a bit fast out of the barrier.
Oh, it's not what we were expecting, that's for certain.
Well, I'm still not convinced, I'm telling you now.
Well, we'll be making sure. And we'll be being bloody careful.
Okay, so what's our next move?
We walk her through the crime scene, see if all the details check out.
But go a little bit easier this time. That family's been through just about enough.
Look, I'm investigating a possible homicide. And it's been by the book. What more do you want?
Nothing, assuming that by the book always means a fair go, I suppose.
And I suppose if he hadn't been out on the street, none of us would be here, would we?
Yes, he could have hung himself in a police cell and you could be still back in your city office with your feet up on your desk.
We all on the same side here, gentlemen, or what?
What was that, Constable Hashem?
We can manage without the junior ranks, I think.
Sorry I spoke.
And that boy, you've got the blue side. You can do green. That one's better.
How's it going?
How would you expect?
We'll just drop the kids home, okay? There's a neighbour who'll look after them.
Give me a break, PJ.
Come on, Max. Be nice to your mates.
I am to my mates, but I'm not a taxi
At
service.
least you know you'll be making yourself useful.
Well, now we know why Brian Shields went off like he did in the street. Because he'd been told he was dying.
I guess you're wanting to transfer to CI now, eh?
Hi, kids.
Constable Doyle will drop the kids home, Mrs. Shields, while we take a walk through the crime scene. Where the events took place. It's a term we use.
We have to go home, honey, just for a little bit longer.
Well, that depends on Maggie, darling. Okay. Thank you. You're a wonderful babysitter.
Agree more.
What can I do now?
He can't treat civilians like that. If I put him into the ombudsman, he could be in dead trouble, couldn't he?
Come on, Roz.
The man's a dinosaur, the complete chauvinist pig.
Yes, but station security is important. You have to admit that.
Are you supporting him?
No, I didn't say that.
He treated me like dirt. I tried to use some initiative and he treated me like rubbish. Who does he think he is?
He's my boss, love.
All right, love, then he's your problem. If I want to run a business, I'll bloody well do it. These are the Middle Ages, however much Tom Croydon might regret the fact.
Hello.
Hey, PJ.
I came from that direction. I almost didn't see him. He was lying there, quite still.
Where was the gun?
The gun was there, by his hand.
What did you do then?
I picked the gun up. The handle was cold. I ran along the river. I was shaking. I threw the gun in.
Well, let's go there then.
Damn TV crews.
Let's enter on the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well, I'll understand if you don't want to talk to them.
I do want to talk to them.
I'll take care of it then. I'd like to thank you for all your assistance, Mrs. Shields. I know it's been an ordeal.
Well, everything seems to check out. TV people looking for a statement.
If you'd like to freshen up for the media, you can use my office.
Oh, thank you, Sergeant Croydon.
I'll make a statement as well outlining what our inquiries have turned up so far.
I'd be grateful for that.
I know. There's still something about this.
Maggie, please.
Come on, Neil. I am not going to show you my gun, so you could stop asking. How are you, Tina?
Real good, thanks. Inside, kids, there's chocolate crackers on the bench.
Yay!
I can see you like kids. You do a real good job looking after them.
Well, that's a bit of a sensitive subject right now.
So what happened? Did he do it himself?
That's right.
That's what I thought.
Same here.
She can move back now. She hates this place. I do too. I mean, who'd want to live here when they could live in the city? Except Brian.
Brian had his reasons, I suppose.
Not to be mean, but I know he's dead and everything, and Mum says I shouldn't. But sometimes he treated her so bad, you know.
They were both under pressure.
But she was always crying and everything, and he didn't care. Once I saw him screaming at her, and all because she wanted to move back to the city.
Garbage 1 minute, pay dirt the next. You know those shooters?
No, what
the
shooters,
duck hunters, mate. Melanie's offsiders. Fitzroy coppers just picked them up. 2 of their rifles came from a gun shop bust 6 months ago. I knew they were sweating. I just had to suss out why.
Yeah, nice work, mate.
Hey, boss, Fitzroy coppers just picked up...
Yeah, I know. I suggested they check out unsolved gun shop robberies and it paid off.
Excuse me, boss. Times are changing, boss.
Not in this station.
Well, women, they think different now.
Would you like to get to the point?
If Ros wants to get a job, I can't stop her.
Are you telling me you don't exercise leadership in the home?
Sure I do. But different homes, they work differently.
You're a large disappointment to me, Patterson. White with 2.
Thanks for sticking up for me this afternoon.
No problem. You'll do a good business out in the red centre. Bit of sweat, bit of dust, instant mud pack.
Come on, it's not that bad. Cheer up.
Well, you don't know him. Creased pants, 2 sugars. Nothing ever changes in that particular little world.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of you anyway.
Well, are you going to make it worth my while? Oh, hi, boss.
I've got news for you and, Mrs. Patterson.
Yeah, right. Come in.
Evening.
Evening, Sergeant.
I was thinking about what you were saying today, and in the circumstances, a new cleaner. She'll pick up the key from you.
Oh, thanks, boss. Thanks heaps.
She's a widow, needs the money.
Well, Ros is stoked, aren't you, love? This is real good of you, boss. Real kind.
Yes, Sergeant, it is. Thank you.
She's got kids, so you're going to have to help out occasionally. I hope that's not too much trouble.
I'm sure it won't be, will it, love?
Of course not.
Well, Nell and I are on our way out, so I better get going. Good night.
Good night, Sergeant.
Good night, boss.
All right.
See? All fixed.
Freaking old hypocrite. Oh well, I hope they enjoy the square dance.
Square dance? Hold on. You didn't go round there, did you? You didn't talk to Nell?
Of course not.
Come on. All that caveman stuff this afternoon and tonight he's a pussycat.
Leadership in the home's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Food all right? Oh, it's fine, Chris. Being a copper is the pits.
What are we talking about here? Pay, conditions, low life?
Mm-hmm. You got it in 3.
And?
It's knowing what really happens, you know, the pressures that get on people. And when they break, we march right on in and bust them. I mean, not everybody is guilty. Just because something looks bad, it doesn't mean that they are guilty.
I suppose so. You'd know more about that than I would.
You know, Chris, it seems to me that there's the police and there's the judge and jury. And the police can't do both, but we do it every day, and it isn't right. That's what I reckon anyway. You know, sometimes I think it's better if a cop doesn't see or hear certain things.
Would you like to be a bit more specific?
No, I can't.
What I hope and believe is that Brian's sacrifice hasn't been in vain. He felt so passionately about this, he gave his life for it.
She's been all over the newscasts. She's going to make a fortune out of the TV rights. So what can I do for you?
I wouldn't want to withhold any evidence, even if it doesn't mean anything.
Well, what are you talking about, Maggie?
I talked to the babysitter. Liz and Brian were fighting. She hates it here, but he wouldn't go back to the city.
Well, what did she say? Was she specific?
Afraid not. It's all between the lines. There were some arguments. Liz wanted to go to the city. It's nothing, really.
Well, I've been playing the interview tapes we recorded. You know, she was waiting for us. And it was too pat. And Brian, I mean, the guy hates firearms, yet he uses one to off himself, and the gun in the river, right near the bank. Fish me out, please.
But you can't charge her. You don't have any evidence.
Relax, Maggie. I'll have a chat with the babysitter, but our Liz is a national hero. If we tried to nail her and didn't, they'd crucify us. So there you go. We let her stiff some poor jerk, and she walks.
She didn't stiff him, PJ. She helped him suicide because she loved him.
Give me a break, Maggie. She hated him.
How can you say that?
Okay, maybe she loved the kids, all right? Maybe. But the guy is a wanker. The love just died.
Oh, come on.
Happens all the time, Maggie.
You are so full of it.
Yeah, and you are a hopeless romantic. Maggie. Okay, that was out of line. Look, you were onto this whole thing well before anyone else. You spotted the inconsistencies in Shield's behaviour when we were writing him off as a wacko. I never gave you credit for that, and I should have. Bottom line, Mags, don't get emotionally involved.
Oh, not you too. I am not a robot, PJ, but I'm not blind either.
One of the things about being a D, Maggie, is you're always suspecting the worst of people. Now, I happen to believe that Liz Shields killed her husband, and I went after her on that assumption.
You're wrong.
Maybe I am. And maybe you're right. But we'll never get another chance to prove it one way or the other, will we? So let's just leave it at that, eh?
Sure.
So there you are. Come on, Doyle, get your skates on. We've had our excitement for the week. It's time to get back to work. I want you and Patterson out delivering those outstanding summonses. And PJ, there's been a break-in over at the Henderson farm. But before you go...